you like to introduce, say your name, state your piece. There you go.
YA, the usual remixes. YA. Honestly, trying to lead a simple life in my own dimension. So if I talk for a piece, it's clearly recollection. If I refer to a higher being, that's because we have a connection, but this negativity is affecting my self-progression. It's all self-reflection. Should I mention that my intention when I vent what I vent is to talk with conviction and release my own tension? That's a fact, right? Day to day for me, sometimes it's like, that's an act, right? I'm gonna try act right, but the only time I'm truly in my right mind is when I write. That's what I find out when I write, using my right side, my mind gets right. I get life, I get why my perceptions of my deceptions become projections on real life. I'm trying to live in my own realm, like my own round. So as much as I'm speaking in a public place, you best believe I stay selective about who I'm talking around. See, I'm talking, but I'm talking without. Now I'm mad, see? My voice is my voice, but that depends on my mouth. My energy and thoughts, well, that's a different sound. Vibrations found in as words, they come out. So I don't want to go too deep. I don't think I'm ready. But my soul's been weak and my heart's so heavy. But where my flow's been hindered, now my flows steady. I'm going to talk about me so you don't forget me. I'm a no one on the street, you would never suspect me. A poet on heat until my words upset me. And I'm hard to undress. Deflection's my distraction, while my real intent is to ignite your interest. So you can reflect on your reaction to a real empress. Where mathematically I fraction my need to impress with my need to be the best. Yes, I know I've got a complex. I was told I failed, so I need to feel successful, not regretful. A handful of times I should have been more resentful. That year had me mental. I was going mental. I knew a crown was there. I just assumed it was dental. Presented with just one wall, staring at that one wall. My vision so impaired I couldn't see it was a portal. I'm feeling thoughtful, a little resourceful. My mind was so sick I was feeling mere mortal. Now I'm a force though. I'm a force though. I'm a sequence of chemical reactions of combustion, grown accustomed to society's suppression and my self-doubt limiting my functions when really I'm propane. Once you add that sodium and copper, I'm basically that flame. I'm basically fire. I'm trying, I'm choosing, I'm that force of producing. I'm an unidentified, unjustified conscious mind. I'm in conscious being who goes out sometimes to recite her rhymes for some spiritual healing in a room full of like-minded people. I mean like-minded beings. I caught a minute on the mic one time. Now I'm lyrically bleeding. My mind needs feeding. I like being read when it's me doing the reading, so I don't want to go too deep. I don't think I'm ready, but my soul's still weak and my heart's so heavy. But when my flow's been hindered, now my flows steady. I'm going to talk about me so you don't forget me. I was wrestling with a darker force, WWF, until my knowledge of self had left and in its place something else had crept in. So I came to the stage to start venting, righteous with a roar of rage from my penting, crisis with a call on stage that I went with, stifled by the weight of ways I pretended. My dreams felt demented, the walls felt fermented. I discontented, felt so tormented until I presented, and then I ascended. I hovered there centered, aligned and attentive. I knew what I had to do just to get mended. I apologized to God, so say I repented. I never planned it, it just happened. Now I teach repent ed from my head for the madness. Now I seek redemption for my sins, for the sadness, to take the edge off. I backed off the ledge because there on the ledge I was jamming with a sledge for the next dragon. I stood standing, water in my wagon from when I conquered the kraken that I dragged in the beginning. No one would fathom I come and kill the damn thing. I couldn't even swim. Now I have to look at the levels of the legends in the room that I stand in. It's outstanding. It's honestly a mad thing. So no, I had now entered. My feet felt cemented. I looked to my left at other poets that had entered, those who attended. My heart had extended. I looked at it long and until I started to question. I questioned the wrong in, a group to belong in. I thought, nah, it's their turf. It's hard to have a peace of mind when you're lower than the dirt. It's hard to give a peace of mind when you've lost your worth. If I never knew and grew from the hurt, if I never 3-inch punched my way through the dirt, if I never felt so close to a coffin that it hurt, if I never strengthened my faith and mentally rebirthed, if I never started searching for a twig to dip the tip of the ink into this soul on my turf, if I never gave my words worth, just kept it to ranting, never set up a gram then, YA poet, no one would know who I am. YA, thank you.
The first lockdown, and it's called When the West Went to Rehab. When the West went to rehab, the tests all got revamped. The celebs had a relapse and the rest they can see that, so please clap. Clap for Mother Nature as she enters her recovery. Stand up for the wonder that comes after the worrying. Humans are going into isolation. Hibernation, defined by enough lies that could hide a nation. Train my track so much I could buy the station. Standing stationary with my stationery. They'll say I'm ready on the day they get me. It's like supermarkets looking less super. It's like Thanos snapped all the Ubers. Can't go to the pub, so you turn my house to a wine house and ask Amy about the future. Look, I heard them say that nothing's ever promised tomorrow today. They cut circulation off, now we suffer in vain. They'd be watching the throne but can't weather the rain. I woke up saying I feel better today, ahead of the game. Oh, but of course, the government went and put us all on pause. Families dying whilst disease on tour. They cancelled jobs and they cancelled sport. They could cancel my life and they could cancel yours. Just at the push of a button, they can destroy countries like anthills and wonder why we're bugging. Human race, yeah, they got us running up walls inside of our minds that life is a game showing to save my life, please. Add 5, vote for me. COVID-19's like it's a no from me. Boulevard of broken dreams on these lonely streets. And I pray for greener days where American idiots don't lead the race of humanity, managing all of us panicking, queuing like mannequins, go to the store and then back again, don't know what they got in store for the masses. And I just want to breathe without worrying about someone that I care about's next breath. It's like my GPS is saying the valley of the shadow of death is on your next left. You can't turn back now. This is where you turn. Maybe this really is a dead end. I didn't audition to be on an episode of Black Mirror, so I'm kind of confused. I wouldn't have done this role even if they paid me 5 G's. I don't know about you.
Still 75% of the time, I mostly stop because I'm black. It's not a racial attack, it's a known fact. But you don't believe me. Wear a hoodie and the cap, see if you're coming back. Where I live, the oldest sell the drugs, the youngest bust the strap. Killed or be killed from a carrier to an OG. What are you not telling me? We saw Tion Wayne and their man Heady One fighting on the plane, but at the same time, it's still the same thing and again and again and again and again. Seems like nothing ain't changed. Seems like we're still going to fight in the same game. It seems like we just trap, we go bando, we go big and get a strike. It seems like at the same time, nobody wants to come out the house, scream out COVID and fight. But okay, let me break down the philosophy of my understanding. I say that we're kings and queens and I just hope you understand it. I just want to let you know that every time you step out on the road, just let yourself know that you can't be taken on control. You can't be drawn out. And every time you're running around, please just take time. Don't open up your mouth, just close it. Bare times, bare man want to draw you out just to expose it. But I want to look at you guys and say you're gifted. Your experiences will make you understand where you are. It's not about where you start, it's about where you're trying to end. So make sure that you end up going far. Most men want to be that guy that's in the bando trapping and making the dough. But just remember, when you got your financial, when you got your business, that's when you're able to grow. So I'm letting you know I'm a big deal and no one can't stop this. Just remember, anything that you touch, you turn to gold. So just understand that. And everybody knows. Myself, Chris Preddie, OBE. Let them blow.